So the bread's proving, and so I'm going to make hug and a mug chicken soup. Now, I haven't made this before. I don't know why I hadn't made it before, but I hadn't made it before. I made this super delicious soup, which I think up on YouTube anyway, an immune boosting sort of chicken soup. But I made this with a lovely NDIS customer a couple of weeks ago. I thought, actually, I really should try this. So I just think I could put some turmeric in as well. Anyway, well, let's see how we go. No, I'll do it pretty much. Couldn't be quite like the recipe, but pretty much like the recipe. So I've got a few ingredients here, so a bit forwards. Just in case you're wondering, that is sitting on a tile, so I'm not sliding it across the bench top. Now, it's asked me for some parsley. I don't have a lot of parsley in the garden, but I've got what I've got. I'm going to put in. Well, I've left a little bit out there. So it is, as always, it's the leaves pretty much only. But I also thought it's chicken. Chicken and thyme go really well. I'll put a little bit of my thyme in there too. But a lot of that. Okay. 1 carrot cut into pieces. Now, carrots obviously vary in size. I've got a big carrot. This means there's more veggies in my soup. Celery is a no-go in this house for the other person who lives in the house. So I'm just putting a little bit of zucchini. Again, more nutrition. I've got brown mushrooms, which I've just cut in half. And it says a brown onion. Now, when I did this the other day, the lady couldn't tolerate onion. So we actually used the green of the spring onion. So I thought, you know what, I've got a whole bunch of them. Why not use that? Why not one? Oh. And again, it gives you a bit of green, more nutrition in there. Right. Lid's going on. Get that out of the way. You can come a little bit closer. Here we are. 5 seconds, speed 6. I haven't washed my spatula. All right. There we go. All chopped up together. Scrape down the sides. And 50 grams of salted butter. So with my salted butter, by the way, I don't know if you know this. Hang on, let me just get this in first to get this going. Okay. Putting the simmering basket on top, so we must be going over a 95 or above the temperature. 120. So it's 5 minutes. Now, I know what I was going to tell you. So with your butter paper, in regards to recycling, it's got like a paper on the inside and it's got the foil on the outside. And in regards to recycling, you put it in when you finish your butter. Obviously, you can use the wrapper just to do some greasing, which is what I grew up with. My mother, they weren't quite the same wrappers, but my mother used to just keep all the used butter wrappers that had a little bit of butter left on them, and we used to grease all our cake tins like that. So I have fond memories of baking and doing things in the kitchen with my mum. That was one of them. This sort of wrapper, you once it's all finished and you've used all the butter and everything that's on it, put it in some really hot water in the sink, and you'll find it's actually really easy to pull those 2 layers apart. So you can then, with the paper, I'm never 100% sure if it is compostable or not, so I generally put that in the landfill. But the foil, you just keep, and when you've got enough foil that's this size, then you can put that in your recycling. So anything smaller, it will drop down through the holes, it'll end up in landfill. Whereas if you have it, so, you know, just bunch it all up this size, and put it in and it will go into the recycling proper. Okay, that's that. Right, it's my little coffee horse this morning. Later in the recipe, I'm going to be using the chicken stock paste. Now, if you haven't made the chicken stock paste, obviously, and you're not vegetarian, it's a really good one to have in the fridge. I have the veggie stock paste and this. I made the meat stock paste one, really honestly didn't need it. If you don't want to make this, you don't have to. It's you can always substitute the veggie stock paste, but this is a really, really nice stock, and it's basically, you know, green vegetables. So it could be, you know, leek or white vegetables, I guess, leek, onion, those sorts of things that go in there with the chicken. Oh, I know what the other thing I was going to do. I was going to actually do a little bit of chopping up of chicken. Well, no doubt there'll be a dog sniffing around in a minute. And I'll tell you why. So I'm going to chop this chicken up because I'm going to make some meatballs, not tonight, but tomorrow. And I am going to, I'm a little bit short on chicken mince. The dog, when she comes. Oh, actually, she's outside in the sun. Hello, girl. So she won't, I don't think she'll smell this through the doggy door, but normally she's here in a flash. All right, so I'm just chopping it up, and then I'm going to pop it into this container, and I'm going to put it in the freezer for half an hour. Once I've finished soup, I will actually do a little recording of mixing, which will take seconds. Obviously, with this mince, I know it's just the chicken breast, nothing else, whatever I'm putting in there. Oops. Chicken. Not a little bit for her, she's the little fatty bit. All right, so the favourite person, which is my husband, not me, has had to go to work this morning, got a call, lying in bed, it's 8 o'clock, he's worked the last 5 days. When are you coming into work? I didn't know I was meant to work today. No one had asked him, so he had to race off. So 6 days in a row, which is a fair bit, really. Anyway, he's off working. So Marley, our dog's favourite person, is at work, but I'll probably get in the good books with a couple of little bits of chicken scraps. So these are just going to go in the freezer for about half an hour. So I'm going to do that whilst we just finish off here. And I'll put that aside for her. She'll be a happy girl. And just in case you are new to Thermomix, you can preview your recipe. So it says asking me to add the chicken breast, which I've got chopped up. Yeah. I think maybe I've frozen my chicken breast. I was going to use, that's my chicken breast for the soup. 50 grams of plain flour. Now this is a gluten-free plain flour I made from cookie dough, and it's fine. It's just a little bit, it's not quite as fine as what you buy, but I'm going to use a bit of that in there. Ooh. It's smelling amazing already. I've just popped up my glasses. Can you see that? Pop in my chicken breast. There we go. 50 grams of plain flour, just so it thickens a little bit. So you'll see this flour is a little bit on the grey side because it's, I've forgotten all the things that are in there, but it is the homemade one. You want a really good gluten-free flour, look up wild sourdough. Yuki she's spent years researching gluten-free sourdough as well as normal sourdough, and she now makes her own gluten-free flours. Well, sorry, they're made for her in Melbourne, and all really good quality ingredients. They're FODMAP friendly, they're gluten-free, they're dairy-free, they're egg-free, they're everything else free, and they get really good endorsements, and they are lovely. She's now, I've run out of that, but I will be ordering some more. it's a bit more expensive, but I know it's really good quality. She's now also developed a white one. So the other one was sort of a little bit, well, not really wholemeally, but it wasn't pure white, but she's now developed a white one too. I just need to understand the differences between them. But she has really great flour. All right, 30 grams, 50 grams of fat, pinches of pepper. Sure, I've got my pepper mill out. Okay. Now, if I was going to add turmeric, I would put it in here, and you would need the black pepper. Place the simmering basket on top. 1 minute on speed 2. So it's just going up to, it's on 90 degrees anyway, so it's just going to do that for a minute. So it's just going to get that flour. I guess it's a little bit like a roux with all the, because we've got the butter in there, we've got the vegetables in there. It's just going to cause a bit of a thickener. Then we're going to add this. Yes, so we're showing you the preview. And you've also got the 3 magic dots here. I can go recipe detail and I can have a look down through there. And also variations. And one of them is a gluten-free. Can't get a mud soup. Well, obviously using gluten-free flour. So you can do that. It's also when you start cooking, I don't know about you, but I don't have, well, I do when I'm filming, I have all my ingredients out. But if I'm not, I'm just, you know, going along the way and I can check what all my ingredients are. Okay, continue. We have 4 seconds left. Right. So that's the chicken in there, everything amazing. Smells amazing. 800 grams of water. Oops. That would be a little bit more than 800 grams of water. And 1 tablespoon of chicken stock paste. Now, there have been various comments about this soup, and that's why one of the reasons why I'm really keen to try it. Some people say, oh, it's a bit bland. Well, I think you just add a few extra bits and pieces. So plenty of stock. That's your salt. You don't need extra salt. And, you know, you can chuck some other herbs in if you want to. And that's just going to cook for 15 minutes. And then, my friends, it's done. So it's a really simple soup to make. And I'm having it for my lunch. So it's 11:55. I used to have lunch about 1-ish, but I will be having that. I can put it in a thermoset. It will keep warm for up to 2 hours. And I will have it about 1-ish. So, yeah, I would suggest give it a try, and I'd love to know what you think. Thanks. Bye. Oops. Mouse isn't playing.